revealed those demands, but this is obviously a hijack. This is obviously a hostage exchange deal that they want to cut with the Pakistani establishment. So are we waiting for an execution to then call them terrorists? I'm also being joined by PJ Mir, who's a senior journalist from Pakistan. PJ Mir, what's the situation on the ground? Why is it that the Pakistani establishment and the Pakistani military continue to refute what the Balochi army is saying, that 20 Pakistani personnel have been killed in the exchange that took place between the two sides?
Look, when you see an act of terror, this is what happens. I mean, don't you see what happened in Kashmir? Nagas, Mizus, Tamils, Khalistan, and all that. What were they? They were terrorists. I mean, as far as India is concerned. But here, I'm surprised that the ambassador says that there are freedom movements. Look, freedom movements do not take place like this. There are negotiations, there are talks, and that is how you go about. You don't go around hijacking people and killing them. I mean, what about these people who killed 26 people in Quetta? And, then at the same time, we've had lots of other killings by these, I call them Taliban funded or foreign funded. I mean, who funds these people? They are outside the White House in Washington. They're outside the United Nations headquarters in Geneva. Who is funding them? So the question here arises, what India and Pakistan have to see and deal with the situation is by being on one page. Remember one thing, if terrorism emanates from here or from India, and both of them do not get on the same page, both get affected. And who takes advantage of it? The terror element. And this is one of the main reasons. I mean, I've had a number of discourses in Brussels, at the European Parliament, and of course in Washington and in London, where we get very, very intelligent and able Indian ex-army officials, Major General Ashok Mehta, Brigadier Gurmeet Singh, and so many others, and vice versa here from Pakistan, who indulge in objective and logical conversations.
Okay, but then there is a counter over here as well. How does the Pakistani establishment, Pakistani government in generals justify the atrocities that are meted out to the Balochi civilians on a daily basis, systematically? Their populations have dwindled, their lands have been taken, their businesses have been snatched away under the pretext of infrastructure projects being brought in by the Chinese. Not to mention, there have been attacks again and again, in fact targeted killings, assassination of a Balochi leader who had to escape and was in exile in Canada, and he was assassinated by the ISI. So on one end, Pakistani establishment is talking about observing the rules of the law, but breaking them time and again, year after year.
Well, it goes both ways. You see what happens in Kashmir. I mean, what is that? What about those mass graves discovered?
Let's not bring Kashmir into the issue. I'm talking about the liberation movement of the Balochis, the fact that they have been brought to such a situation that there has been a terror act that has been committed by them to make the Pakistani forces, to make the Pakistani military and the government hear their voices. I am not justifying this.
Look,
this is a terror attack. There are civilians who have been attacked and targeted. But do they have a choice?
No. First of all, let me get one thing clear. I've been in this business far too long, much longer than you. You are supposed to be an anchor